Hello, welcome to our lesson 5. Today we're going to talk about grammatical cohesion in discourse from them ellipsis and substitution. So let's get started. So as I mentioned in the previous lesson, you can see the whole table of the system of cohesion. So in the previous lesson we talked about the grammatical in meaning reference. Here, grammatical coherence in meaning references. Today we're going to talk about system of cohesion, grammatical and in wording, ellipsis and substitution. So the principle of cohesion. The concept of cohesion in text is related to semantic ties or relations of meaning that exist within the text and that define it as a text. Without semantic ties, sentences or utterances would seem to lack any type of relationship to each other and mightn't be considered as text. So cohesion can be defined as a property that distinguishes a sequence of sentences that form a discourse from a random sequence of sentences. So it's a series of lexical, grammatical, and other relations which provide links between the various parts of a text. In studying cohesion, we should make a distinction between linguistic cohesion and pragmatic cohesion, or coherence. Cohesion is concerned with the way in which the components of the surface text, for example, the actual words we hear or see, are mutually connected within a sequence. The surface components depend upon each other according to grammatical forms and conventions, such that cohesion rests upon grammatical dependencies. Thus, cohesion is a grammatical relationship between parts of a sentence essential for its interpretation. Coherence and concerns the ways in which the components of textual world, for example, the configuration of concepts and the relations which underlie the surface text, are mutually accessible and relevant. It is the order of statements relates one another by sense. So look, coherence usually relates one another by sense, by not for example, conjunctions or links, etc. The quality of being meaningful and unified. So 7 criteria which have to be fulfilled to qualify either a written or spoken text as a discourse. So the first is cohesion, grammatical relationship between parts of a sentence essential for its interpretation. Coherence, the order of statements relates one another by sense, you can say by meaning. Intentionality, so the message has to be conveyed deliberately and consciously. Acceptability indicates that the communicative product needs to be satisfactory in that the audience approves it. Informativeness, some new information has to be included in the discourse. Situationality, circumstances in which a remark is made are important. Intertextuality, reference to the world outside the text or interpreter's schemata. So, cohesive devices in English. So in the previous lesson we talked about reference, and here is given substitution, ellipsis, conjunction, lexical cohesion. Today we're going to talk about substitution and ellipsis. So substitution and ellipsis. Substitution can be divided into 3: nominal, verbal, and clausal. So nominal can be called noun substitution. So it can be given with the pronouns one and ones, and verbal substitution can be given with the words do or so, like auxiliary verbs, and clausal substitution can be given so or not, which means a whole sentence. So nominal substitution, you can see most typical substitution words are one and ones, and they substitute nouns. For example, look, the car is mine, but that one is yours. So here is called, this car is mine, but that one is yours. So here is the pronoun one can be substituted with the word car. Let's go and see the bears. Let's go and see the bears. The polar ones are over on that rock. So here is ones is used in replacement of bears. So therefore it's called substitution, just replaces the place of a noun. The next is verbal substitution. So verbal substitutes. In verbal substitution, the most common substitute is the verb do, which is sometimes used in conjunctions with so, as in do so. Did Mary take that letter? Did Mary take that letter? She might have done. She might have done. So here is word done. Here is word done is being used the verb take. Therefore it can be just replaced with a verb, and it's called verbal substitution. And do or do not auxiliaries, for example, she can drive the car, but I can't. So she can drive. Here is given cannot. So the cannot can be used in the place of can drive. She wrote the homework, but I didn't. So here is I didn't can be used in replacement of the verb wrote. The nominal group some, any, and one. Clausal substitutes or substitution. In clausal substitution, an entire clause is substituted by so or not, and it can be just replaced the whole sentence. If you have seen them so often, you get to know them very well. I believe so. So here is so is used with the replacement of you get to know them very well. So is being used in replacement of the whole sentence. You get to know them very well. Everyone thinks he is guilty. Everyone thinks he is guilty. If so, no doubt he will resign. So here is so is used in replacement of he is guilty. We should recognize him when we see him. Yes, but supposing not, what do we do? So here is not is used with the replacement of we should recognize him. So clausal substitution is mostly used instead of the sentences. Stop. Now we will move on. Ellipsis. So ellipsis, you can say the omission of words, not replacing, just omission. So you can omit the words, but the meaning can be understood. So ellipsis can be divided into three: nominal, verbal, and clausal. So ellipsis, you can say zero substitution is omission of elements normally required by the grammar, which the speaker or writer assumes are obvious from the context and therefore needn't be raised. So here is given some examples and you can know what they are. Do you want to hear another song? I know 12 more. I know 12 more. So here is the word songs are omitted because without the word songs we can understand what's going on in the sentence. So I know 12 more, it means I know 12 more songs. So Sue brought roses and Jackie lilies. So here is the word brought is omitted because without this word we can understand what's going on in the sentence. I ran 5 miles on the first day and 8 on the second. So here is the word miles is omitted because without this word we can understand what's going on in the sentence. The meaning is the same. There are 3 types of ellipses, as I mentioned. So ellipses, nominal ellipses within the nominal group or the common noun that may be omitted, and the function of head taken on by one of other elements. Like here is given example: Nelly liked the green tiles, I preferred the blue. So here is the word tiles is omitted because without this word we can understand what's the sentence about. Verbal ellipses. An elliptical verbal group presupposes one or more words from a previous verbal group. Technically, it is defined as a verbal group whose structure doesn't fully express its systematic feature. For example, have you been swimming? Yes, I have. So here is needed. Here is don't need any kinds of whole verbal group. For example, I have been swimming. So been swimming can be omitted because without it we can understand. What have you been doing? Swimming. So what have you been doing? So I have been swimming. So the word I have been is omitted, therefore. And clausal ellipses. A clause in English considered as the expression of various speech functions such as statement, question, response, and so on, has a 2-part structure consisting of modal element plus prepositional element. For example, here is: the Duke was going to plant a row of poplars in the park. Holiday and Hassan also say that the principle of clausal ellipses is general to all types of questions. So, nominal ellipses, one of the premodifiers of the head is upgraded to the head. Verbal ellipses, from the right, are you laughing? Yes, I am. Or from the left, are you eating dinner? No, washing up. Clausal ellipses, yes, no answers. Answer to WH questions only with what the question interrogates about. For example, why are you going away? Because it's late. Only WH element in questions, leave those alone. Why? Thank you very much. The lesson is over. If you liked this lesson, I'm so happy. Bye bye.